Alright, Bubbles, we're pushing our code. What is up, everyone, and welcome to Hello World Episode 6 GitHub Repository. Just like every episode, we're implementing a new feature into our Hello World website, so if there's something you want to see coded up and implemented, let me know in the comments down below. Let's get into the episode. In this video, we're going to take this website, we're going to put it in a GitHub repository, we're going to create a branch, make a minor edit to that branch, and then merge that branch back into the main branch. So what we want to do is start by going to GitHub and creating a new repository. On the Create Repository page, we're going to give our repository name. Obviously, this is Hello World. We don't need a description. I'll make this public so you guys have access to it. Then we're going to click Create Repository. Now that our repository is set up on GitHub, we have to get the contents of our localhost Hello World folder synced up with this repository. So we're going to open up our command line. We're going to cd into our Hello World folder. This already has a Git folder in here and a README, which we are going to delete because these are from the framework that we checked out on GitHub. We don't want this to be associated anymore with the framework. We want it to be associated with our GitHub repository. I'm going to open up the File Explorer then, and I'm just going to delete the .git folder. And I'm going to delete the README file. Now on the command line, a little ls on there, and we see that those files are gone. Now we can do a git init. Hit enter, and it will tell us that it's initialized an empty Git repository for us in our Hello World folder, ls-la, and now we have a new .git folder in there. Once we've initialized our GitHub repository, let's do a status on it to see what is going on. We should see untracked files. There we have all of the files that need to be uploaded to our repository. Our htaccess, our app core folders. And so now we can do a git add --all. Now if we do a git status, it will show us all the files we have in our repository as green, ready to be committed. So the next command will be git commit. We'll give it a message, and the first message we're going to say is hello world. Hit enter. Then we have to add the origin. So we're going to do git remote add origin. And the origin we're going to specify is the path to our repository. And to do that, you do git at github.com, then you do a colon, your username, and the repository name. Hit enter, and now all we have to do is say git push -u origin main, which is the main branch. And if all goes well, it should write the objects to our repository on GitHub. Heading back to GitHub here, if we refresh this page, you should see our initial commit has been successful with a commit message of hello world. And there's our first commit. Our message is hello world, and we have all the files here that were in our localhost hello world folder. And now this repository is synced up with our localhost hello world folder. If we do a git status on here, it'll tell us that our branch is up to date because we have nothing left to commit. We committed everything we had currently, nothing has changes, so we're all good. Now we're going to create a feature branch, make a little minor update, and merge that branch back into our main branch. But first of all, let's check out the branches that are currently in our repository. To do that, we do a git branch -a, and we only have our main branch, so we want to create a new branch. To do this, we're going to say git checkout -b, and we'll call this feature branch 1. Now what this does is going to check out a branch, it's going to copy whatever current branch you're on, in our case main, and it's going to create feature branch -1. To verify that it worked, you can arrow up a couple times to our git branch -a, and now you see we're on our feature branch, not our main branch anymore. So the change that we're going to make to our feature branch is we're simply going to add in some margin here between the earth text, and our hello world button. Over in our editor, we have our repository open. We are on the home page, views home, HTML body. Here we have our earth. And what we want to do is we want to add a little padding between the earth, the h1, and this div. So we're just going to add a little padding to our hello world ID here. Over in our assets CSS home styles, that's where our home page specific styles live. We're going to throw the ID right in here. We're going to say margin top, and we'll say 10 pixels. Refreshing our page, there we go. Now we have even spacing around the earth text and the button, just like the padding for the whole section container. And that is our big feature we are adding to our feature branch 1. Back on our command line, if we do a git status, one file has been modified, our styles.css file. If we want to see what was in that file that got modified, we can say git diff, and it will tell you specifically the lines that have been added. Here's the 4 lines that we added. Now we're going to commit these just like we committed the repository initially, but we're committing it to this branch. So we're going to do a git add -all. Git status again, the file should be green, it's ready to go. Now we're going to say git commit, we're going to put our message in here. Say added padding to hello world button. Hit enter. And there's our commit with our message. Now, after you commit it, you obviously have to do a push, or the changes are not going to get pushed up to GitHub. So we're going to do git push origin, and here's where we're going to specify our branch name. So we're going to say feature branch 1 because we're pushing the changes that we made to that branch. We're going to hit enter, you'll see it work. Do another git status, nothing to commit because our changes have been pushed. Now back on GitHub, you can see we have 2 branches here. This first page is our main branch. You see we still have our old commit message from our main branch because that's the only commit we've done to the main branch. If we click on the branches over here, you see there's 2 branches. We have our main and we have our feature branch 1. If we go to our feature branch 1, you should see our commit. There we go. Added padding to Hello World button. You can click on that commit and it will show you the exact file that was changed, and there's our Hello World margin top of 10 pixels. Now, back in our web browser, we're on our feature branch. If you come over to the command line, we can look at the branches, -A, and we can check out our main branch by doing git checkout main. Hit enter and it will tell you it's been switched to main. Since we're back on our main branch and nothing has been merged, if we refresh our browser, that margin will go away because the main branch doesn't have the changes from the feature branch yet. To get those changes from the feature branch into our main branch, we're going to merge them. Git merge, and then we specify the branch that we want merged. So whatever branch we're on, we're going to be merging what we specify here into that branch. In our case, we're merging feature branch 1 into main. We're going to hit enter, and it's going to come up with a text editor where we can edit the commit message. So we're just going to escape out of here, and that's merged the branch now, but locally. So we have to get those changes now into our repository on GitHub. Now if we do a git status, we should see that our branch locally is ahead of what's on GitHub because we've merged the feature branch into main branch, but GitHub is not aware of that yet. We're going to say git push origin, and now our main branch has been pushed to GitHub with the changes that we've merged in from feature branch 1. Git status now should tell us that everything is okay. Your branch is up to date, nothing to commit. And we are going to go back to our GitHub page, Hello World. Now on the main branch, we see our merge commit here, merge branch feature branch 1. And if we click on the commit message here, we will see our changes that we made in our feature branch now exist in our main branch. And we have successfully created a feature branch, made an update in that feature branch, and merged it back into the main branch. Now a little bit of cleanup here. Once we're done with the feature branch and we know we don't need it anymore, we're going to delete it. We're going to go back to our command line, do a git branch -A. We see we have our feature branch and our main branch. First thing we're going to do is we're going to delete it remotely, which means we're going to delete it from GitHub itself. The command for this is git push origin -- delete, and then we specify the branch name. We're going to hit enter here, and it's going to tell us that it has deleted feature branch 1 from github.com jstolpe hello world. Hop over to GitHub just to visually verify and refresh our branches page. Now all that's left is our main branch. However, we still have our branch locally. If we do git branch -A again, there it is. It's still there on our local box. To get rid of that, we're going to do a git branch -D, and then we do feature branch 1. And now the feature branch has been deleted from our local host. Verify that with a git branch -A, and all that's left is our main branch. And that is how you create a repository on GitHub for your website. We created the repository, we linked it up with our local host, we created a feature branch, made a few updates, and merged that into our main branch, and got that main branch then pushed up to GitHub with our new feature branch merged in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. More importantly, I hope you learned something. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you want to see coded up next. I'll catch you later.